and salutations. Welcome to another edition of the YouTube channel Too Many Plugins in Delta X-Ray. I'm your host Alex. Today we're gonna play a little bit of Battlefield 1 here on the old 4-core CPU. And we're gonna have a little bit of a chat about Windows 10 end of life shenanigans that are gonna come in October. So yeah, in a month and 10 days or something, like 10 or 15 October or something.
We have taken objective Duff.
You can still for a short period of time run your computer, basically not really risking yourself too much, but you're literally talking probably already about in several months as your system starts already becoming extremely vulnerable. So security updates for the actual operating system. And I think you're also going to stop receiving updates for Windows Defender. So if you after that start still running Windows 10, you should then use like some third-party antivirus. But even so, after some months, the actual OS, not just the antivirus, starts just being a vulnerability. Most likely going to be probably severe after about 5 to 6 months. And after a year, then it would already be like probably heavily compromised. So, you know, think about that, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't run that really very long. Ooh, almost hit the airplane there. Yeah, so what can you do, you know? Yeah, well, you have people, you know, that say, well, you know, I'm just gonna go to Linux, you know, but Linux, there's lots of hoops you need to go through. Some things really don't work. Many times you're fighting with Proton to get things working. In terms of gaming, you know, it's just a real issue, you know. Completely distracted, by the way, by talking. So, you know, Linux, you can get stuff running, but especially if you're running multiplayer games, first of all, you know, you can then be running or with compatibility layers like Proton, then Windows game, or then just really officially Linux games. But if you talk about online games, and especially AAA online games, you know, then yeah, it start to become a real issue, because the antivirus providers, they don't the anti-cheat providers are all stop supporting Linux. So, you know, they're just gonna immediately ban you if you come there with Linux, you know. Anything that uses easy anti-cheat or yeah, man, there's so many different provided over there. Ricochet, whatever the name of it, Ricochet, you know. If you, that kind of stuff is already not supported anymore, you know. So you're completely screwed, you know. If you talk about gaming, and also about many other applications like Adobe Photoshop, and you know, the only one that's then compatible is DaVinci After Effects, but that is also you know, it's compatible, but it's very buggy. It's not really so stable on Linux, you know. So, you know, there's lots of compromises you have to make also when you go to Linux. It depends on what you're doing, of course, you know. But if it concerns AAA gaming, it's going to be already an issue, you know. And if it concerns games that have anti-cheat, wrong button, then you are completely screwed, you know, with anti-cheats, because most anti-cheat providers, they don't support Linux anymore, because Linux is too complicated for them. It's also cheat makers also. They don't want to make also cheats for Linux. It's all because Linux is very much more, you know, root and kernel protected operating system. You know, so it's an issue for anti-cheat, but it's also a real issue for cheat developers. You know. They have also difficulty in getting cheats running because of, you know, the advanced kernel protection and root protection that Linux has and that Windows doesn't have, you know. So, you know, you're screwed over there also. Now, there's some options you can do, you know. If you have, hopefully, if you have supported hardware, you can just go to Windows 11. But many people don't have that. Now, there's some things you can do. You need to find it out yourself, but there is a program that people use. It's called Flyby 11. It's basically a program where you can make all the hardware work again on Windows 11. What it means is a program that you use that bypasses basically the hardware compatibility test that Windows 11 performs. Therefore you can then still install it, but you can still receive updates, but you cannot receive version updates. So you can receive security updates, but not if you go from 23H2 to 24H2. Those big upgrades, basically the service packs that changes a lot in your operating system. That you're not going to be able to do that. And on many hardware you can even get it running, but then it runs sluggish, so it's not an ideal thing to do, and if your computer is not too old and you have maybe you have only TPM, or you don't have TPM, we have only secure boot, and sometimes it even works well, if it's not a too old computer, but when it's really like older than 6th gen or 5th gen Intel or Ryzen, the first generation Ryzen, anything older than that, yeah, you can get it running, but it gets sluggish, and it can get buggy, and it's not really 100% recommended, but it can be done. It's called Flyby 11. So anybody interested, you can find it on GitHub. Flyby 11. Use the legacy version. There's two different versions of it, but there you can just basically choose how you want to basically bypass Windows 11's hardware requirement tests, and then you can still install it. Your mileage may vary if that will be successful. You can do an upgrade, you can do a new install. It lets you choose between that. But yeah, is it really optimal to do that? Probably not. The way Windows 11 is locked down. On a hardware level, on a TPM level, on a secure boot level, on a UEFI level. So it's it can work, but depends. Your mileage may vary, and like I told, any of the older systems like that, going to be really an issue. So what you can also do, by the way, that you can always, if you had Windows 10 installed, you can just make a free upgrade to Windows 11. You don't need to buy another key for that. Many people don't know that. They start buying other keys. But you can just, during the installing, if it was already installed on that motherboard, you can just say, I don't have a key during installing. If you had Windows 10 installed before, then Windows 11 becomes automatically installed. Install the right version, by the way. If you had Home Edition, then install also Home Edition of Windows 11. So it needs to be the same version. Cannot be Pro then. But if you had Windows 10 Home Edition, then you can just free upgrade to Windows 11 Home Edition. That is an option. An option is also buy a new computer, make an upgrade. Or sometimes it's your CPU or your motherboard that doesn't support the actual upgrade to Windows 11. You can also pick up yourself used refurbished Office PCs that you can find Windows 10 compatible ones for like they start already an i3 or something. They start already with like 60, 65 euros or something with an SSD in it. 256 SSD and 8 gigs of memory. And I'll go for a little bit more expensive one. Then you talk about maybe 100, 110, 120. You can get yourself a PC like that just for your normal everyday usage. And if you then want to do gaming, you have to invest a little bit more in an extra gaming card, to be able to also game. But for your normal stuff, you can get already Office PCs like that. Be careful with those things. They have many of them are small, so big graphics cards don't fit in. They're only small form factor, and many times the power supplies and some things are proprietary. So and the motherboards also. So you cannot just buy another power supply or another tower, and just mount it in there, because it's not just compatible like most other PCs are. I'm talking about those Office PCs from Dell, HP, Lenovo, that are the refurbished ones. But you can get good deals there. i5s with SSDs in it, 256 and then gigabytes and then 8 gigs of memory. You can get those things for about $80 or something. And for about $100 you can get with 512 gigabytes NVMe and 16 gigs of RAM. So you know, for and these are also with genuine Windows 11 licenses included. So there you go. That's always an option. You know, you can also go through Linux, as I told you. Depends on what you play, but in many things, yes, you're still gonna encounter problems, and you're gonna encounter sometimes fighting with software and yeah, that kind of stuff. So you know. He still survived it. Or just build yourself a new one, you know, spend a couple of hundred, maybe 500 or something, and buy yourself an AM4 motherboard, a B450, you can for $60 already get a 3600, $70 a 5500 R5, you know, 6-core 12-threaded chip. Some memory with it and a graphics card, maybe 600, 650, with 16 gigs of memory, and then a graphics card of like 250, $300. You can also buy yourself you know, a nice one. NVMe drive for 500 gigabytes for like, you know, $33 or something. The only thing that's expensive in this moment are power supplies. They're actually really expensive. The okay-ish ones, not even the good ones. You can also get really something cheap, but you know, that's probably not going to last you so long. So yeah, these are also options, but yeah, it's a shame. A lot of people are going to be needing to really you know, change their hardware, you know, or go to Linux, you know, and make some compromises. Depends really what you're doing, you know. If you want to do some light gaming, but if you're really into, you know, online multiplayer games that use anti-cheats and stuff like, and even many AAA proprietary games, you know, is gonna be problematic, to be very honest, on the Linux. Many years. You have a lot working today. The compatibility really improved. There's a lot of things that work, you know. It's really impressive how many Windows games already work in Linux. Don't get me wrong, you know. But still, occasionally you're really fighting with certain things in Linux, you know, that you're not going to be able to run everything smoothly. It's just not going to be the issue. But compared to 5 years ago, it's probably 80. Well. Yeah, maybe even 100% more compatibility than it used to be, you know. So, yeah, probably in the last 5 years the compatibility probably not even doubled, probably tripled or quadrupled. It's so in that sense, Linux is really evolving, you know. But you know, the illusion of you know. Of thinking that you're gonna run everything in Linux, you're not, you know. And if you do music production, you use VST plugins or you know, exotic photo editing stuff, then Linux, of course, have lots of free applications. That's always the beautiful thing of Linux, you know. Open source, free applications, substitutions for you know, software proprietary that you pay a lot of money for, you know, from the multinationals, the billion-dollar corporations. But you know. It's still, you know, there's some things that you gotta be really on Windows, you know. It's just, you know, and especially, you know, AAA, even many AAA developers. Years ago, there were still some games of AAA studios came out that had full Linux support. Today, you don't see that anymore. And now even many anti-cheats say that they don't support Linux anymore. Many cheat creators, people who make actually cheats. You know, they are also, you know, they don't make it even for Linux anymore, cheats, you know. So it's all, you know, very, 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 very complicated that. So, yeah. Of course, now Windows end of life is coming closer and closer. So new computer parts are slowly going up the last couple of months. And even the prices of used refurbished PCs are also going up because there's now just a way higher demand. Because you literally probably talk about, man, I'm sure it's like maybe if you talk about consumers and the business world, it's probably maybe 2 billion PCs need to be upgraded in the next couple of months. Or some of them were already upgraded short time ago, you know. So it's You know, the scarcity always makes the price go up, you know, and there's also a limited amount of compatible second-hand PCs available, you know, both from consumers and from business people. And then new parts also, you know, new parts, they have, stock in warehouses, but that stock is, it was never for something like that, you know. We have never in a Windows version, we have seen so many people who were forced to upgrade, and companies, and institutions and government organizations, you know. So, you know, we are in a very, very, very complicated situation if it concerns that, you know. I see that also, both on the refurbished suppliers and on the new suppliers. They are hiring the prices, and many things are out of stock. I see lots of memories lately out of stock, a lot out of stock. People make those upgrades also, you know. They are running still a 4 or 8, and they go to 8 or 16 gigs, you know, because Windows 11 is also a little bit more demanding on memory usage. People need more space. The only thing that's in this moment is really, really worth it is any AM4 Ryzen CPUs are really cheap now. You can pick up 3600 chips for 59 euros new, and you know, 5500s for 70 bucks, which are really, really nice prices, and 5600s, you know, for 99 bucks, you know, which are amazing chips still that really game really, really well, you know. So, you know, it is, yeah. There you can really make yourself a great deal, you know. You pick up yourself a B450 motherboard, you know, and a CPU and something like that, you know. You pick up those motherboards already here in Portugal for 55 bucks, the ASRock ones, the HDV R4.0s. You know, you can get for a motherboard with a processor and some memory, you know. In AM4 you can really pick up now deals, you know. You can probably do that already for like 150 or something with 16 gigs of memory. You have a, you know, 3900, which is a great chip still for gaming, you know. I was going for an airplane. You can do it, by the way, airplanes. I was very distracted now with this talking. Sorry about that. I got 7 killed already. So yeah. There is a lot to do, you know. There's a lot to save if it concerns money, you know. And believe me, there's really not so much between it, you know. If you go to AM4 and DDR4 to AM5, you know. Yeah, there are gains to make if it concerns efficiency. And yes, it is a bit faster, but not so much also. Excuse me. There's not also so much between it, you know, that and the amount of money that you can save by going AM4 with these cheap chips and DDR4 that you can still get cheap. Price of memory, by the way, doubled in the last 3 months of DDR4. And DDR5 went up a little bit also, but especially DDR4. But that's again that scarcity thing, you know. Starts being a little bit more scarce. The motherboards are still widely available, CPUs also. But memory DDR4, I think they're selling a lot. Many people making upgrades. And I think it's a scarcity that now they don't have so many anymore. So yeah, they went up a little bit. And actually a lot. Went up by 20 to 35 bucks. Depends which kit you take. But 16 gigs went up by 248, 25 euros or something. 28 euros it went up, yeah, 28 euros. 16 gigabytes kits. So, in 3 months. So, there you go. Even NVMe's you can get, but they don't have a lot in stock, and SSDs. So yeah. I'm very distracted here, by the way, by talking, but and now, by the way, we're also on just a Ryzen 3 1200, only 4 cores, 4 threads, 16 gigs of memory, 2666, and now I'm on an NVMe drive, only 128 gigs, but it's 1700 by 800 or something, transfer speeds. It's okay for this. Picked it up for like $7.5, and I have then another SSD that I run my games off, a normal SATA SSD, 2.5 inch. So that's what we are running now. And then the Fire Pro W600 with 2 gigs of VRAM. So yeah, that platform is now literally a killer, man. I mean, the 3600 came out was 230 or 260 bucks. For me, for a long time, was like 180 bucks or something. That chip, the 3600. Now you can pick it up for 59 euros. That's just a crazy price. And then the 5500 is really good also. I have the 5500 myself. Is a great chip, that, you know, for 70 bucks. 6-core 12-thread Zen 3, you know, very efficient, you know. Really, really, really nice chip. Performs really well. A 6-core 12-threaded chip, you know. Pick up that now for 60 bucks, you know. Use it through. There's the 3600 used to be really for a long time. 160, 180 new. And then when it came out, it was like 230, 260 or something like that. It was really expensive. Make yourself a steal on AM4 in this moment. Stick a little NVMe drive in there, you know, doesn't even need to be a great one. Anything up to 3200 mega transfers, you know, drives is enough to that's PCI Express 3.0, it's enough. And the 3600 by the way supports PCI Express 4.0, so if you get a B550 motherboard, you can you have a PCI Express 4.0 support for modern graphics card and faster NVMe drives. You can go up to, oh god, I think 7000 mega transfers NVMe drives with that. And then also more modern graphics cards, PCI Express 4.0. So, you know, that chip is also nice because of that. The 5500 is only PCI Express 3.0 compatible, you know. But the 3600 is PCI Express 4.0 if you have a B550 board, you know. So that's a killer chip, you know that. And the 5600 is even better, you know. 99 bucks, that's a brilliant chip, that. It really is. Oh my god, I was a little bit stuck over there. That's a brilliant chip, you know. So in that sense, you can really, in AM4, you can really make a steal. But still amazing how this little 4-core, 4-threaded first generation Ryzen is running here. This R3 1200. Streaming 720p in this moment. Running OBS, running Origin, and running Battlefield 1 in 720p in medium in this moment. These are medium graphics. Pretty amazing. I've here and there a break, as you see, but that I always have. I think I shot him first in his face, but there you go. But if you don't care about gaming and you're not into music production or, you know, heavy Photoshop stuff, then the Windows is a fantastic alternative for your normal music, for your normal online stuff, you know, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, you know, your social media, just more, how do you call that, casual photo editing, more as a hobby. My god, why did I change the gun? It was too far. You know, for that Linux is actually way better, you know, if you're just for even if you don't mind sort of more indie titles and stuff like that, you know, and free games, then actually, you know, and free software for recording your audio, not audio production. You have that also a lot in Linux, but it still has also, yeah, audio production is not, it's not the best in Linux. It really isn't, you know. There's lots of possibilities. DJ software is quite good actually in Linux. You have lots of good options for there that are actually quite good, but for DJing, but yeah, if it considers other kind of things, not. But you know, as just a daily driver for your hobby software or DJing, a music player, sort of like a jukebox, media center, normal internet PC, fantastic Linux. You should not even run Windows 11 then. And also on more lower end hardware, you always have a very nice experience, better experience on Linux. You know, it's not so resource intense, no telemetry going on. You know, so you know you will have in that sense a better experience on Linux. But if you you know, even for normal office stuff, you know, just writing a book or documents or something, you know, you have a LibreOffice, free office software, you know, so, you know, you're fantastic like that, you know. Also, if you want to save money on software, then, you know, Linux is really nice. But if you want to do very exotic things, then, you know, with proprietary or AAA games kind of things, then, yeah, you know, you probably need to stay with Windows. That's really it. Yeah.
We have taken objective Duff.
But if you use Linux for some time, you start also understanding something. You know, I love all my proprietary paid software that I have, you know, that's all locked down by giga corporations, you know. But I tell you something, if you're on Linux, you start noticing something really, that actually you have the free software and stuff like that, you know. But you start really noticing that Linux is way less compromised. You're way freer to do whatever you feel like doing with your operating system, you know. And even with the open source software you can use in there, you know, you start feeling, you notice even when you're on the internet, it's less intrusive. Even ads also, things the way that many cookies and stuff follow you on the internet. In Linux, that's always way less. Even ads and stuff, you know, on websites, and it's just different, you know. It's less intrusive. It's a cleaner experience, and it's an experience that you control. You feel you are in control. Sometimes it's buggy, sometimes it's a little bit stick together, the open source software and Linux, and then the free programs. But you really notice you are in control, not them. You notice that. That is, you have to give that to Linux. You really do. Yeah, you really do. Yeah, you really do notice that. Oh my god. Medic! I was completely distracted now. Mr. Alex, save my side, my ass. Come on, medic. Oh, he's coming. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm today extremely distracted with all this talking. Oh my god, nice one.
Losing objective Charlie.
Yeah, that is something really nice about Linux. If you use it for I've used it for years. I use it all the time as my daily driver when I'm not gaming or doing music production. Let me tell you, what a nice experience it is. I mean, yes, you sometimes have to use the terminal. You have to Google it, look for the sudo command, and stuff like that to make stuff work. But it is really nice. It is really nice. Linux is really nice. I'm extremely distracted today, but doesn't matter. Yeah, Linux is a great experience. It really is. Medic!
Many thanks.
God damn. Oh my god! Medic! And what I just always do, I just have always in my PCs, I have two hard drives. And from one of them, holy moly, go inside. Oh, doesn't want to go. Oh my god! Yeah, I always have just two hard drives in my PC. I don't do dual boot from the same hard drive with Linux because that will give multi-booting, dual booting gives always problems, you know. Just run from one hard drive. I run Windows for my music production stuff and gaming, and from the other hard drive I run Linux, and I just boot from there through the boot menu of the motherboard. I just boot in there, and I just run Linux when I'm doing my normal stuff, and when I want to game or music production, I reboot and I just boot into Windows.
We have lost objective Duff.
So Linux is great, guys. It is great. But you need to, you need to compromise yourself. And Windows is also compromised because in Windows it's all proprietary, telemetry, a lot of, how do you call that? Advertising going on, bloated operating system. You know, lower performance many times. You know. So Windows is also, you know, they give people free upgrades, you know, from Windows 10 to Windows 11, you know. They do all those kind of things, you know, is because you are compromised, you know. And that's exactly the reason, you know. They are spying on you. They sell you information, you know. So. So that's also a way you're compromised by using Windows, you know. Telemetry, them spying on you, advertisement, bloated programs are trying to sell stuff to you, try to sell to you all the time Microsoft Office and cloud space, and you know, it's all very intrusive. Even when you're on websites, you know, you notice that Windows is extremely intrusive, man. So. You know, that's also a compromise, you know. Needing to always be in a proprietary environment, in a lockdown environment. So these for me are also compromises, you know. Just as much a compromise is that, yeah, you're sometimes fighting with stuff to make it run on Linux. But, you know, being in a completely controlled proprietary environment like Windows is a compromise also. And it's crappy, you know. And you're still, you know, it's not, you know, nothing is basically for free. You know, they always get you somewhere, you know, even if it's through ads and selling you other kind of garbage, you know, selling your information to advertising companies. They always have you, you know, on some way or the other, you know. You're not the consumer anymore. You're not the user anymore, you know. You are the product, you know. So that's Bob. crap out of them over here. The nice thing of Linux is also the hundreds and thousands of free applications that you have just in your Surface Center for you to download, you know. Linux is really great, you know, if it concerns...
Grenade out! Throwing a grenade!
concerns free applications. It's really incredible, you know. And Windows 11 is extremely intrusive. It really is, you know. I had already issues now. Never had that, you know. First of all, we could always like upgrade our PCs with 10-year-old hardware to other operating systems, you know. This is the first time, you know, this never happened. Not with Windows XP, not with Vista, not with Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. Never we had this kind of thing that all of a sudden so many people were forced to upgrade their hardware because Secure Boot, TPM 4.0, UEFI BIOS, BitLocker on your operating system, and go on and on and on, you know. And so we never had that already, you know. So, you know, Windows is going into a very, very intrusive, you know. Gotcha. Oh, I killed a couple of them. My God. So you need to see also this is a huge transition to even a way more intrusive environment, you know. Also, yeah, it is of course to protect you for your safety, yeah. Let's, you know, guys, oh my God, you know, but, you know, it's a lot also to spy on you, you know. Let's face it, people, you know. It's just what it is, you know. I'm just gonna blast myself out of here. I got that sucker, at least he was over there all the time like a rat in the corner. Yeah, and that's really what you feel when you are using Linux, that you control that machine, man. It can be crappy, it can be duct taped together, but you're controlling that thing, man. You know, and that is in Windows, you don't have that, man. You feel really you are the bloody product, you know. Son of a bitch. I will get you, son of a... Yeah, you feel more free, you feel it's less intrusive, it really is.
Grenade out! Watch your heads! Throw a grenade!
Whoa, we had a little one over there, guys. Oh my God, I blew myself up. And that's always an option, guys. You can also do just what I do. It's just run from the hard drive. You just run Windows, and from another hard drive, run Linux. But do not run it from the same hard drive. Many Linux versions let you do that. Do not do that. Multi-booting is a bad idea. It most of the times gives problems. Don't do it. Serious, don't do it.
Grenade out! Look alive! Tossing a grenade!
Shit on there.
Oh my God! Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not run Windows and Linux from the same hard drive. And do not, by the way, also run 2 versions of Windows from the same hard drive. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. A really bad idea, that. Holy moly. So I run, then you can, by the way, find it on my channel. There's some videos of mine where you can find my own made distribution of Zorin OS Linux that I have modified myself, put all audio, music and video editing and photo editing software in there and DJ software. And that's then Zorin OS KDE Plasma version that you can find some videos in my channel where you can also find a link of my Google Drive if you want to download and use it. So there you go. That's just one that I created, a distro with Cubic. It's actually just GNOME desktop, Zorin OS GNOME desktop that I've then modified to KDE Plasma. They have then a very fancy modern desktop environment. We just go like this for a joke. Even me more. Medic! There's no medic around. And that has support, by the way, that version, that is then Zorin OS KDE Plasma, has support until 2029. So you don't need to upgrade it until 2029, which is really, really kind of good, you know.
A flame trooper kit is available near your location.
I'm so distracted today, my god. Ah, somebody's already stealing it over here.
Need a medic over here.
Where are these guys hanging around? Let's go. Always walk a little bit slower with these suits. But it's always fun. Blow some people.
We have taken objective Charlie.
Right, son of a bitches. Let's get them. Gotcha! That was fun. There's almost another round. So yeah, there's lots of things to really like about Linux. It really is. And also Windows. I mean, only it's this whole lockdown proprietary thing. All the software and you know, the operating system, the applications you use, a lot of it is proprietary. It's locked down. It is what it is, you know. gonna drop here my grenades. Maybe some guy. Oh my god, some guys come breaking through here. There you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching and for listening. I was playing really bad. I was a little bit talking too much also. But we had victory. See if we still unlock some things over here. Probably not. You know what's amazing of this CPU that I'm using here, this Ryzen 3 1200, has a good power supply in it, also this PC, but this PC, you can hardly listen this thing, it's really incredible. Ryzen 3 1200, even in overclock, that CPU cooler, you don't listen, it's just like, gets like between, it uses like a max 40 watts to 42 watts or something, but it stays really so cool. So I was running like 40 degrees, 38 degrees between that, and in the winters even lower, you know. It's now summer, it's all the time really cool, that thing. You hardly can listen to this PC. There's also good Seasonic power supply that helps also, you know. But this PC is really silent. The only thing you actually listen is the FirePro W600, a little bit the fan spinning up when you're gaming. I'm, by the way, not gonna play this anymore. I'm gonna leave it over here, guys. I'm gonna do still some things. Later on we'll play a little bit probably on the other PC. Stream some other games. Thanks so very much for watching and for listening. As they say, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe, take care, cheers and beers.